Four more inmates have been charged in that September 20th riot at the Grand Forks County Jail, bringing the total to 8. Kyle Hintz of Grand Forks has been charged with felony inciting or leading a riot in detention facilities and misdemeanor criminal mischief. According to the criminal complaint, Hintz was yelling about how the jail is always effing them over and engaging in violent conduct, kicking his cell door and screaming. Some inmates did not receive their commissary items on time after paying for them. They can buy food and other personal items from the commissary that are delivered on specific days. And Mitchell Lajamandir of Grand Forks has been charged with felony inciting or leading a riot and misdemeanor wearing a mask during commission of a criminal offense. According to the criminal complaint, he engaged in violent behavior assisted with tying bedsheets to a door to keep officers out and doing it with his face covered. And Justin Blueshield of Tokyo, North Dakota, and Kelly Hood of Grand Forks have each been charged with felony inciting or leading a riot in a detention facilities, violent conduct, and tying sheets to doors. Now, for more background on all this and the earlier charges, here are our earlier reports. We now have a fourth person charged in a September 20th riot at the Grand Forks County Jail. 25-year-old Dakota Alry has been charged with felony inciting or leading a riot in detention facilities. According to court records, Alry was one of those tying sheets to a door in the jail so officers couldn't enter. For more background on what started all this and others charged, here's our earlier reporting on this incident. A third inmate has now been charged in connection to a riot at the Grand Forks County Jail earlier this month. Inmate Cameron Lafreniere of Crookston has been charged with felony simple assault. He allegedly kneed an officer in the genitals, and he's also facing a charge of misdemeanor physical obstruction of a government function. Now, for more background on how this all got started and what happened, here's our report from earlier this week when the first two inmates were charged with misdemeanors. We have an update regarding a riot at the Grand Forks County Jail on September 20th. If you recall earlier, inmates had sent me videos from the jail complaining about medical care and the quality of the food. Well, that all erupted on September 20th with a bit of a riot, and two inmates have now been charged with engaging in a riot. 24-year-old Alexander Haas of Amaretto and 43-year-old James Meyerhofer of Grand Forks. Reading from the criminal complaint, on September 20th, at approximately 11:28 p.m., multiple deputies of the Grand Forks County Sheriff's Office, along with officers from the Grand Forks Police Department, responded to reports of a disturbance at the Grand Forks County Correctional Center. Approximately 16 inmates were reported rioting and refused to lock down in their cells. This was happening in Pod 3A. Staff from the Correction Center advised that the inmates had barricaded the pod door. Inmates had tied the day room door to the day room table using cloths and blankets. Inmates began to flood the pod by clogging the toilets. Inmates armed themselves with makeshift weapons using mop and broom handles. Inmates can be seen throwing items within the pod. Inmates were banging on the windows and doors. Inmates were yelling, "We ain't locking down," and "Give us our commissary." Again, two inmates now charged, James Meyerhofer and Alexander Haas. Another part of their complaints with the commissary, they had put money in to receive personal items and food and weren't getting it on time. Those issues were addressed according to the jail's administrator. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.